All right, well, let's get started. So, good afternoon, and thank you for joining our Career Connections webinar. My name is Brent Giangregorio, and I'll be your host today. We are very excited today to bring to you careers in trucking. We've got a great panel lined up for today's webinar. But before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel within 48 hours. As well, we'll send out a link to the recording along with any presentations or materials that you see today to everyone that registered. Because this is a webinar, all lines are muted, and you will only see us as the panelists. You will not see yourself or the other participants. However, we do really want to hear from you. So there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. As we move through the presentation, please feel free to type your questions into that Q&A box, and we'll leave about 10 minutes at the end of the session for questions. Okay, so our speakers for today, first we're going to hear from Alex Miller, President and CEO of the Florida Trucking Association. Then we'll hear from Trey Williams, President of FleetForce Truck Driving School, and Annabelle Fernandez, Talent Acquisition Specialist at Argos USA. And as I mentioned, then we'll move on to Q&A. And if everyone could stay on for 1 extra minute after the Q&A and after we end for a survey that will pop up on your screen, we would really appreciate it. Your feedback is really important as we use these surveys to help us with future programming and webinars. So before I turn it over to our presenters, I want to take a few minutes to tell you about the Women's Resource Center. The Women's Resource Center has been empowering women in Sarasota and Manatee County since 1979. We have 3 centers across both counties, one in Bradenton, one in Sarasota, and another in Venice. And we serve over 1,700 clients yearly and deliver over 5,000 hours of programming. Our goal at the Women's Resource Center is to engage, educate, enrich, and empower women of all generations. We're really a place where women can call when they're not sure where to turn to for help. To do that, we offer our clients resource advising, mental health counseling, career services, career closets, educational workshops and programs. We offer scholarships, as well as legal and financial consultations. All of this is offered at a low or no cost to our clients. Since this webinar is about careers, I'll talk a little bit more about our career services. Our career coaching program offers individual assistance in preparing for a successful job search. So that can include skills assessments, career discovery, resume preparation, interviewing skills, networking techniques, and much more. Additionally, we have career centers where clients can come inside and conduct online job searches, work on job application submissions, and update their resumes. We also offer one-on-one computer tutoring with helping navigate online job sites, upload resumes, help with computer basics, and Microsoft Office applications. Additionally, we have 2 career closets, one in Bradenton and one in Sarasota, where we have free clothing and accessories for women who are attending job interviews or just secured a job and need work attire. We also serve clients that may need clothing for any reason. Our career closets are currently open Monday through Thursday from 11 to 3. As I mentioned, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have questions, please click on the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and we'll get to them at the end. And as a reminder, our career connections are recorded, so you can watch the replay in case you missed any information. We'll send this replay via email in 24 to 48 hours to everyone who registered. And one last plug, as I mentioned earlier, when the webinar ends, you'll see a survey pop up on your screen. We would really appreciate your feedback on that survey. Thanks so much for attending and have a great day. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Alex.
Thanks so much. So I'm going to start out with kind of just talking about giving a really broad overview of the trucking industry, because I think there are a lot of misunderstandings about it, particularly when it comes to careers for women. I'm the president and CEO of Florida Trucking Association. So we represent about 400 companies in the state of Florida that also have a national reach. And this can be trucking companies, so carriers that hire drivers and diesel technicians and have warehouses, but it also can be insurance companies or companies that use trucking companies that hire private fleets to haul their goods. Insurance, law firms, just about every other company you can imagine, because really what's interesting about trucking that people have really come to realize in the past couple of years is that it really connects every industry in our economy. You literally can't have a restaurant, a hospital, a school, a hotel in business without the resources that trucking brings. And in Florida, that's even more important due to our demographics. We have a lot of retirees. As we know, 800 people are moving to Florida a day. It's a relatively inefficient state to do business in because what goes down to Miami must come back up. So that means that we need more drivers than most other states. Our truck drivers drive in 1 year 16.5 billion miles just within our state alone. We haul about 750 million tons of goods a year. There are 123,000 trucking companies in Florida, and that can be from one person to one truck, and it can go up to, say, Ryder system with 250,000 trucks and everything in between. And we're talking every single thing that we eat, wear, touch, drive, even drive on. If we remember the causeway being rebuilt, that was done by trucking companies bringing in hundreds of millions of tons of aggregate to rebuild that bridge. So all that to say is that trucking is an incredibly big business. And I'm going to say it in the beginning, and I'll probably wrap up saying it at the end, but there's truly a place for everyone in this industry. And that's what I find most exciting. I'm probably one of the last people one would imagine to be in trucking, let alone leading an organization to advocate for it politically. But here I am, and I love it, and I feel like it was where I was always meant to be. But I wanted to talk, I know Annabelle and Trey are going to talk a lot about truck driving jobs, but I also want everyone to keep in mind that there are so many other opportunities within trucking. And some of the companies, if you reach out to them and you're interested in working for them, sometimes you're not going to be hired as a driver right away at all. There are some private companies where you're hired to work in a warehouse. And some of those companies even, they won't put you in a driver position. They want to be able to see your work ethic and see how you work. But during that time in the warehouse, they may cover your tuition for college. And that there are a lot of opportunities like that to kind of take smaller steps within the industry and work forward. There are things, if you're not interested in driving, there's logistics, keeping track of all of those trucks and where they are in the country and being able to efficiently move them around. There's fleet logistics and management. There's HR, customer service. Think about a trucking company that hauls goods for 30, 40 different companies. Just working with them and making sure that they're happy, kind of in sales. There's billing, there's IT, you know, everyone thinks of trucking sometimes as just the trucks, but it's a really multi-dimensional, vast opportunity industry for everyone. And there is a huge opportunity for growth. And I know Annabelle and Trey will probably talk about this as well, of you could start as a driver, then you could be a fleet manager or drive or manage all of the drivers, the thousands of drivers in a state or a country. Trucking really does hire from within. I like to always think of it as a family. And that was one of my biggest surprises coming in, that it really does serve as an insular kind of family where people really do want to see you succeed and move up. And I feel like that's really, really exciting. One of the other points before giving up to someone else is that people also think of trucking as this one thing, right? And obviously that stereotype is the old battered man in the battered old truck rolling down the road, terrifying the public. Trucks are incredibly safe right now. Every year, the technologies that are placed on them to protect the driver as well as the motoring public There's sleeper berths. Should you take a job that where you spend your nights in a truck, are pretty luxurious. I've seen, I think it's in Hong Kong right now. The apartments there are smaller than what these sleeper cabs are like in the United States for drivers. But it also depends where you want to drive, what you want to haul, how far away do you want to drive? Do you want to drive locally? There's literally a job for all of those options. And I'll tell you right now, those jobs are open. Someone with a CDL, someone with experience, or just the interest in joining this industry can probably find a job by the end of this day. Obviously, there are certifications that are needed for certain things, but we are hiring. And so just to wrap this up, for me, it's when I say that there's a place in trucking for everyone, I came from a very different background, not in trucking. And I did find myself in a situation alone with two small children, two 2-year-olds, and really having to reevaluate what I wanted to do with my future, how I could best care for them, and also give myself that opportunity for growth. And while I didn't join trucking right away, I ended up kind of stumbling into it a few years later. And honestly, I could not be more grateful for this industry, the men and women that support me, support other women in it. It's actually a really great advantage to be a woman in this industry, because I think it's unexpected, and I think there's a lot of power that comes with that. So I will be on obviously for questions later, but I'm really honored to toss this over to the next speaker, Trey Williams, who is the president of FleetForce Truck Driving School, who is a FTA member company, as well as we have a strong partnership with identifying, retaining, and recruiting the next generation of drivers in Florida. So, Trey?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to turn my video on, and I'll apologize up front for the fact that as an entrepreneur, I live, work, and probably will die in my vehicle. So, boom, I'm in my car, and everyone can be able to see that during the process. But such is the life of a business owner. So I'm really excited to chat with you guys today, namely because FleetForce has a very strong initiative that we take seriously, and that is we have a goal of 50% female enrollment. This year, we had a goal of 25%. Last year, we had 22%. But on the way to, over the period of coming years, we want 50% female enrollment. So there's a good reason for that. Females pass the CDL exam at FleetForce locations at a higher percentage than men do on their first exam. They actually cause fewer preventable accidents once they're on the road. They job hop less often, and as a result, they add greater value to the companies where they work and are cheaper to insure. That is a recipe for success. If you couple that with the fact that any wage variance or disparity is eliminated by the fact that a mile is a mile, then it doesn't matter what bathroom you use, you're going to be paid by the mile one way or the other. And it's a fantastic way to earn income and for the industry to tap into 50% of the American workforce, which has largely been ignored over the past century. So it's a strong initiative within FleetForce. So let me tell you what that means for us. FleetForce has a 4-week, 160-hour Class A program that takes you through your permit all the way to testing. And at the end of that, you would be licensed to drive a tractor trailer, any vehicle over 26,000 pounds that has a coupling anywhere within the United States. The program is made up of 1 week in the classroom, 3 weeks behind the wheel, either on a private track at one of our locations or out on the road with an instructor, and operates from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We test on the weekend. So we have a little bit of opportunity to celebrate and test each weekend as we graduate another class. We start classes every single week. And for those on the Southwest Coast and the Sun Coast, we have locations in Bradenton at the State College of Florida, in Venice at the State College of Florida, and very soon to be Hodges University in Fort Myers. That location was delayed by Hurricane Ian, as you might expect. but should be opening in January or so. So anywhere on the Sun Coast between Tampa and Naples, you've got a FleetForce within a half hour, maybe 35-minute drive of you. Coupled with our goal of student enrollment is also instructor enrollments. We have a lot of female instructors, those who've been over the road for years, some of whom have recently been licensed, and we find that having that component on our track is a nice way to balance out some of the testosterone and create a little more equity among the different learning styles that we all have. So it's a non-traditional model for this industry. Like Alex said before, you think of an old white guy driving a beat up truck, scaring everybody to death on the interstate, and it's certainly not the case. So these days, our trucks are all 2016s or newer. They're all automatics. They all have lane assist and automatic braking, just like your new cars do. And to her point, the sleeper berths in these trucks are nicer than my college dorm room was. So it's actually an amazing opportunity to see the country, an amazing opportunity to make really good income, even as an entry level. So what's been happening with our graduates is they have 2 or 3 job offers waiting for them before they even graduate. Recruiters literally fighting over the opportunity to hire them and offering significant signing bonuses upon that first day of employment. But then very quickly, those who have ambitions to do so have the opportunity to have some upward mobility within these organizations. Everybody is starved for employees right now at every level, not just drivers. So a great driver could make a great driver manager. A great driver manager could make a great logistics manager. So at these companies, there's lots of upward mobility that could come from starting as a driver and getting the credibility of having that time behind the wheel. So this isn't a job, it's a real career opportunity to engage in the logistics and transport industry, to become a driver, but to know that there are other opportunities on the other side of that may change your quality of life as your personal or preferences may change. Our CDL tests last about 3 hours, and it might seem like a daunting test when you first hear about them. But I always say that the most nervous people on the track are the first 2 days you're on the track and the last 2 days that you're on the track. The first 2 days, you're second guessing whether this is for you or not. And the simple answer is it is, and the industry needs you. And the last 2 days, more so because you know that you're going to be testing on Saturday, and we all get test anxiety. FleetForce is going to be opening locations throughout Florida next year, in addition to the 4 that we have. So if you or someone you know is on the southeast coast of Florida, in central Florida, and up near Ocala, anywhere in the Panhandle, FleetForce is going to have locations open there next year. So if we're too far away from you now, or we're too far away from someone you know who might be interested, that capacity is on the way. I'd like to add a couple of things about us specifically, not just the ins and outs of the program. At FleetForce, we have 6 core values. But the most important core value we have is empathy. This is a value that I take very seriously as the owner of the company. And it's a value that I expect all of our instructors and team members to lead. Having empathy is more and more rare in this world today. The ability to see something through someone else's eyes and understand their perspective and understand what may be considered their challenges or hurdles or their fears or their anxieties. And what we found is that instructors who've been doing this for 30 years have forgotten what it was like to be behind the wheel that very first time. And a lot of our instructors are those who are in the industry for the past 5 to 15 years or so, and they remember what that's like. And being nurturing and understanding that a time when you're struggling to make a particular move or struggling to remember what you need to know on your pre-trip inspection is an opportunity for them to see that through the student's eyes and say, it's okay. We've got time. The program lasts a month. Take a breath, and we'll come back and try again later. But it's also the opportunity for us to know that passing that exam isn't really the goal, right? The goal is so that we can all be the best versions of ourselves and ensure that our children lead better lives than we do. That's what really anybody wants. So we know that passing that test means potentially a college education for your child or your grandchild, or a larger house if that's what you need and your family requires. And we try to get to every person's why. Why are you here? And we're not going to say it's because you're making money, because you can make money in any way possible, but there's a reason why people choose this industry. And we try to remain empathetic and see everything through the student's eyes. And I think that's what makes FleetForce different than a lot of other places who perhaps just see this as transactional, that you're paying for a school and a certification. But what we really are offering is the opportunity to join a family. And trucking is most definitely a family. And those who graduate from FleetForce will always be a member of our FleetForce family. I would look forward to answering any questions you might have about the logistics of the program once Annabelle's had an opportunity to chat and speak. And then really want to be available as a resource and an ally to anyone who has interest in this career and is wondering how to make that happen.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trey. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Annabelle. I'm just going to share my screen here. We've got another presentation for you. And we'll get it up and loaded. All right, Annabelle, it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you, Trent and Alex and Brent. Again, my name is Annabelle. I am the talent acquisition recruiter for Florida. And first, I want to thank everyone in being here and also for giving me an opportunity to be here and kind of getting into what we do. A little bit about Argos. Argos is a cement and concrete company. If somebody doesn't know what the difference between those two are, is cement is the powder or the material that goes into the ready mix or the concrete. So everyone ends up touching concrete every single day, almost every single day, with sidewalks, foundations. So we are very, very integrated within the society, if you don't know. Argos originated from Colombia and has spread throughout the North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean. It also has about 2,000 employees within the U.S. Part of Argos, as well as 500 employees here in Florida. We are actually one of the largest concrete and cement companies within the Southeast region from Florida. So Brent, if you can go into the next slide, I would like to go ahead and play this video, and I hope you enjoy it because I feel like it's very encouraging.
This is Lexi with Lexi on Location with a special report where we will be highlighting women in the trucking industry. The workplace is evolving, and so is the culture in construction, and Argos is leading the way. Come on, let's take a closer look.
I think it's great that women are getting into all phases of construction work. When I first started working construction many years ago, I didn't see very many women in any kind of construction field, and especially the concrete industry.
Plenty of women stop me and they'll say, "What do you do?" when they see the steel toe or the vest and they want to know what you do. Or if they see you driving that truck and they'll just say, "Is that hard?" And I tell them anything with training.
A woman can do it, a man can do it, anybody can do it. I'm 21 and up. Easy work.
Live your dream. If you want to get in a truck and run the roads, do it. If you want to come work for us and get your hands dirty with some concrete, see some really cool things built like bridges and big buildings, come do it. You can do that. None of it's heavy, none of it's too hard, and it's all well within anybody's capabilities. Personally, I think it's fun.
It doesn't matter where you come from or what your background is. We can train you to become an awesome ready-mix driver.
I love being a professional driver. I was previously a school bus driver. One thing concrete doesn't do is talk back. It's a very rewarding job, and I enjoy the way people look at me when I tell them I am a truck driver because they can't believe it.
You definitely have to be super careful. There's no such thing as overly cautious, but like the outcome of it and being in here, I love it. It's awesome.
Safety first always, and just being a mom, I always had passengers, so I act like they're over there in that seat with me, and I gotta keep them safe.
I just graduated CEL school on November 1st, my first day here at Argos. I came to Argos because they have great pay, great benefits, and it's a family-owned company.
First days are so exciting, and I know you're going to do great. Your safety is our top priority, and we want to empower you to do the things that you love.
Outside of work, I like to spend time with my children. I like to travel. I like to go to the movies. I like the outdoors. I like to be active.
I like to go yard selling and flea marketing, and I do DoorDash. Me and my daughter do DoorDash, make extra money. I keep busy.
And while you enjoy the things you love, we want you to enjoy what you do here at Argos. That is why we have a culture of growth, so that you can take your career to new heights.
I was hired away from the DOT by QC 25 years ago. From there, I actually worked in our truck shop, at which time Ella Weeks asked me to become a plant manager in the St. Augustine area, and the rest is history.
They train you a lot, what I would never known if I hadn't come to this company. And the other thing I like the most is the chances you have to move up in the company. It's never just set in stone that you'll stay at one level. It's very easy to move up in the company as long as you're willing to learn and grow.
I love being a professional driver. I've drove my whole career since I was 21. I'm 50 years old now. And it's a lifelong job. You can drive up to you're in your 70s.
And the growth isn't just your career, but the awesome things you can accomplish as a woman in construction.
Impacted me to have more confidence about myself and be able to do things that I see, the male role do, I can do also.
I feel strongly that women need to get out and get into the workforce that mostly men have dominated, and give Argos a try.
Don't let anything intimidate you, and don't let these big trucks, these concrete trucks, intimidate you at all. I mean, women power, we can do it.
I think I intimidate the guys because I'm faster and better and stronger.
Just about every job site I've gone to that has dealt with some of the guys here, they'll be like, you just like one of the men, the only thing different is that you are a woman. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. I said, if you pay attention, do everything you're supposed to do. I said, we can do anything that a man can do. And we sometimes can do it just a little bit better.
That's the confident attitude we like to hear. And it's also the type of spirit we love to reward.
It's great income. It's really good to help you out with your family. I did one job for 14 years, and just to be honest, my overtime be more than what my salary was for 2 weeks at my other job.
Great pay. I mean, the best pay I've had at any job I've been to.
I like the pay. The money is good. Come to Argos, they're going to treat you real good.
Top of my destination is one day to retire, hopefully at 45, and be able to travel the world. Take my mom and dad wherever they want to go. That is the top of my destination.
We'll help you get to that destination, Toya. And to anyone else watching, we'll help you too. So what are you waiting for? Give Argos a try. We can't wait to meet you.
Thank you, Brent.
Awesome.
I love that video. It puts smiles on my face all the time. All right, so Brent, if you can go into the next slide, I kind of just want to touch base as to why we're doing this pilot program. We actually started this program this year, a couple of months ago. And Trey mentioned a little bit about just women coming into this industry as far as in the trucking industry. And a lot of people, just like the woman said here as well, a lot of people don't know, or women know, that this industry is also available to them. So we want to be able to spread that awareness as well. And also, again, like Trey said, they're safer drivers. The retention rate is a lot better than as opposed to male drivers, and they are loyal to companies as well. Right now, we are with as far as 3.5% in Argos as drivers for women, and we kind of want to boost that up just because I think it will better the company as a whole. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Actually, the process before this slide. I did want to mention the process. What it is Brent will possibly give you some information, my email, my phone number, the application on how to apply if you're interested. If you want more information, please do not hesitate to give me a call, email, or text message. It would be helpful if you did tell me that you attended this webinar, so then I can make sure that I prioritize you. We'll go ahead and process the application, make sure that everything is squared away with motor vehicle records. And also I will then pre-screen you to make sure that it's a good fit, not only for us as a company, but you yourself, because I think you'll be with us for most of your day. So we want to make sure it's a good fit and what you're looking for as well. After that, you'll go into an interview with the operations manager. And then we'll go ahead, and if everything works out, you'll be an intern with us for about a week. I think this is very important for you to do, just because it is a new industry, and you'll be able to see what the day-to-day work is going to be like. The scheduling, the pay, what other drivers are saying about the company. That way you can kind of be sure of what you would like to do. If everything works out, you'll go into FleetForce. We are partnered up with Trey. It's been a very, very, very good school, very successful rates as well. And we want to make sure that you are set up for success as well, going to FleetForce. After that, you will come in to the next Monday. Trey did say that the testing was on Saturday. Then on Monday, you'll go ahead, as soon as you're done passing, you'll start with us with Argos as an employee with us. So with that being said, I do like to mention that after you become one of our employees, we definitely have a lot of different bonus programs. One of the bonus programs that we do have for this program is you will have, what we will do is we will collect a very small sum of money every single week. And you will stay here for the whole year. And by the time the first year is done, you will get a retention bonus, which is a nice sum of money, which will be nice to just have for your first year of coming into the trucking industry. That's about it. We do, like the slide here says, we do have a lot of great benefits. We have day one benefits. We have medical, dental, vision. First day, you do not have to wait. That can be extended to your family and spouse if you'd like, or just yourself if it's just you. We also understand concrete in itself is a weather inclined company. So it's a lot to do with weather. So we understand that as a company, and we want to make sure that you know that you will also you won't be left out in the rain, right? You'll be taken care of. We also have what's called a 40-hour guaranteed pay that you will receive weekly as long as you come to work. Of course, we also, like I mentioned before, we have bonus programs. It's local. A lot of the driving positions are over the road. If you have a family, sometimes that doesn't work, sometimes that works. It all depends. Not, everybody has different needs in their life. So it's local, very much teamwork. We have done 401k match as well. So a lot of different bonuses, and we can definitely discuss that when I speak with you. So that's about it. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. And so I just want to point out, Annabelle, Argos has a pilot program targeting women, right?
Yes.
Join. And if they are accepted into the program, you take care of their CDL training and certificate. All of that is covered, as well as job placement.
Yeah. So you'll like you said, it is a sponsorship program, so we'll take care of that cost that comes with getting the CDL, and then also have a job when you graduate. So thank you for clarifying that, Brent.
Yeah, of course. Fantastic. Well, I want to thank all of our panelists. I think that it was great content that we were able to see sort of the demand, the diversity in trucking that's available. So let's take a look and see what questions we have here for the panel. So the first question is, when can a person start to get their CDL and begin working for a company? Anyone want to answer that question?
Brett, I can take that. So you're allowed to have a commercial driver's license from age 18 and up. Currently, the law prevents you from being interstate until you're 21 instead of intrastate. But I believe Argos would be a regional and home everyday kind of job. So it doesn't apply if you're 19 and you're wondering whether you can do it. The answer is yes.
Yeah, perfect. And I think to that question as well, as Trey mentioned during his presentation, they start training every week. So if you're wondering, how soon you can get into a CDL training program, it's quick. There's not a long turnaround. And certainly once you go through that training and pass the exam, I think all the panelists highlighted the sheer demand for jobs, that it would be very, very quick for you to be employed after you've been trained and passed.
Yeah, Brent, I know I spoke about the Class A CDL timeline earlier, and let's add on that Class B, which you would need for Annabelle's purposes, is only a week of training, and then the test on the other side. So it's much, much quicker than the Class A.
Yeah. Beautiful. Perfect. Wonderful. And it looks like we did not another question, but just a comment to Trey, and that one of our participants was so grateful to hear that empathy is so important in your organization, and they really, really appreciated that.
Well, our core values spell out the word grief, ironically, and the first one, the G, stands for gratitude. And I'm very grateful for people recognizing the importance of empathy, and the E at the end, it represents empathy. So it's our two foundational and most important core values.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we are finished with questions. So with that being said, I want to thank our panelists for joining us today. Such great content and information. Remind everyone that this will be posted within 24 to 48 hours to our YouTube channel. We will send out a link where you can view the recording. And anyone that's on live, if you could just stay on 1 extra minute and complete the survey. And with that said, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Take care.